Hello, Warriors fans. Welcome inside the WLC Media Center as we have our Week 4 football preview. Scott Warras and head coach Eric Treske. And coach, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
2 home games in the rearview mirror, a couple of convincing wins, and the last one last Saturday, a conference opening win over the Red Devils of Eureka. What was the message to your guys in that post-game huddle on Saturday night? Let's start there.
Well, just really proud of how they represented our program. We talked, it was a special night, the 25th anniversary celebration. We had alumni from the very first team all the way through, and I think our guys definitely show what it means to be a Warrior. They play hard for 4 quarters. Our defensive effort was phenomenal. I felt like our offense played better as the game went on, and we had some positives and specials too. So it was a fun night.
Let's start with the offense. Second straight game now, you eclipsed 500 yards in total offense. But unlike the Buena Vista game, it was one of those where you look at the box score after you went, oh wow, they had over 500 yards of offense. It was a grinder of a game, but in the end, you guys checked a lot of boxes. But I guess every game takes on its own unique perspective and characteristics.
Yeah, for sure. We felt early in the game we could potentially jump them with some tempo. Mm-hmm. And so you saw us play pretty fast. Unfortunately, we didn't execute on some key moments. We moved the ball, but didn't finish in the 30, kind of the plus 30 and in. And that's our next level, I think, offensively. We're becoming more of a consistent unit. But if we're going to be where I think we're capable of being, we have to learn to finish when it counts. And fortunately, when you have a defense playing the way we have, they've given us multiple chances to get there. And this week's going to be a good test. Can we make it happen?
Bryce Barbie and your quarterback, 324 through the air, and 3 passing touchdowns, his first 3 passing touchdowns of the young season. And as always, give credit to the line for keeping him clean for the most part. He looked real smooth. His ability to kind of slide out of the pocket looks comfortable when he's on the run throwing.
He likes to create. He's got it. Bryce has a gifted arm. He can make some throws that's a lot of quarterbacks wish they could. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, when things don't necessarily go as planned, we're fortunate we have a guy at the helm that can make things happen. And we've had some big explosive plays. I think you saw the one with Emmett toward the end of the game. That was not by design. That was those guys making a play after things broke down. So
I've had a couple of people already now through only 2 home games talk to me about, I think Coach Miller brought it up on the broadcast too, about Bryce's ability on the run-pass option, the RPO, to hide that thing so effectively until the very last split second and electing to pull it out. What goes into that? I mean, how much training and prep goes into hiding the football in the gut of the back and then deciding to pull it out if that's the case?
I think there's 2 key elements that allow it to happen. We train it, we do mesh work and eyes work. We do that every day.
What is mesh work?
Mesh work is the exchange between the quarterback and the back, and there's different meshes that you have. I think what allows Bryce to do it so well is he's got a very, very quick release, and he's got disciplined eyes when it comes to the read game. Like Bryce, he rarely makes, I would say simple mistakes when it comes to the read game. Every once in a while he gets a little greedy, but it's in terms of reading things the way he needs to. He does a really good job, and those are the 2 elements that make RPOs work. I've had other quarterbacks that have been very gifted athletes, but their release isn't like Bryce. He's got a baseball background, and you could see it. He makes throws from odd angles. Sometimes he doesn't have to even step into the throw. He can just rotate the hip. That's the key to those types of plays.
The talented combination of Emmett Hawkins and Jamil Gordon, 18 catches combined, 241 combined receiving yards, and 3 of the touchdowns that were scored. We should mention for Jamil, 12 catches in the game. He had 24 all of last season. What type of weapon can Jamil be, and how do you best utilize his strengths?
Yeah, Jamil's incredibly dynamic. It's been fun to see him flourish this year just because in past years he's been so close and he's had injuries and different things that have really, I think, stopped him from showing people the player we know he is. What I think makes him really, really special is he's really improved as a physical player. He can be a great blocker now as well. So he's a very well-rounded athlete, and you can use him a ton of different ways. You see us jet him, screen him, quick game, shots. Like, there isn't a thing within our offense that Jamil can't do, and it was cool to see him have such a good night.
You mentioned the blocking component of being a wide receiver, and that's become more and more important, it seems, just in the sport of football in the last 5-10 years or so. When we see you guys with a cluster of 3 or quads, a cluster of 4, can you, without giving away too many company secrets here, can you talk about in that 4-man cluster, let's say to the right?
Sure.
Can you talk about the blocking responsibilities for, I would assume, 3 of the guys?
Yeah.
Or how that's divvied up?
Yeah, so we have a base set of rules that I won't maybe go into, but we do have a base set of rules that the guys understand. And because of that set of rules, it allows us to present a lot of different formations and the guys to have an understanding of what their role is, their responsibility. But where we've taken a step forward, in my opinion, is we've done a much better job amongst our group communicating. Because when we play fast or we give a new picture, you don't always know the picture in front of you, right? You can't predict. And so those guys become kind of more of a veteran crew. Most of those guys are juniors or seniors that are playing in that role. And they do a great job communicating with each other. And then they take a lot of pride in it. They know that it's a team game. I'm blocking for my brothers, and they've done a really good job.
Yeah. And when it doesn't go well, everybody sees that. So when it goes well, it's one of those things, again, that kind of goes overlooked, by fans at least, probably.
Yeah, no, for sure. We actually, we've always been a heavy screen team or believed in screening. I look at it as our perimeter run game. And we've struggled in past years. Last year it was a liability, unfortunately. So we went into this year saying, hey, let's maybe not make it our number 1 option, but let's use some quick game and other things and have screens in our pocket. And very quickly, our guys showed me, no, coach, like we're capable and we're ready, and it's become a strength of our team.
Your defense has allowed just 13 points per game now through 3 weeks of the college football season. A couple of takeaways against Eureka on Saturday night. What facet, what dimension of the defense as a whole impresses you the most through 3 weeks?
So we've talked a lot about how active our front is. A lot, these last couple of shows, that's been a big part, of our defensive conversations, and that's very true. It's a strength of our team. I think the one thing we haven't discussed is the leadership on the back end. So Brandon Ansek, his ability. Last year, Brandon played corner for us. It was the best decision for the team at the moment. But Brandon is a very physical player. Having him be able to play in the nickel or as a slot defender has allowed us to have a man defender who can also fit the run. And then Connor Martin has been just a breakout player for us. He's done an amazing job as a safety. He knows every call, every check. I mean, he is another coach on the field. And because of those 2 guys, I think we're able to be more multiple, give different pictures. Yeah. So, yeah.
I mean, Ansik, he's everywhere. I mean, I would encourage folks, next time you're out at a game in person or watching the broadcast, home or road, like, just watch Ansik. Just watch him on a play from the moment that the offense breaks their huddle to the moment the play is whistled dead. I mean, the places he can go from A to B are just remarkable. He's always around the ball, always.
He and Savan, I would say these last 2 years have just been incredible leaders for our program. What you see on the field is what we've seen from them every single day. Weight room, practice, meetings, all in. In the media center, we've been in here. I've seen those boys watching film in February, March, getting guys together. They are so locked in. They want this year to be something special, and it shows by how they play.
Okay, Coach, before we move on, who was this week's Warrior of the Week as determined by the coaching staff?
Yes, we chose a guy. Typically, it's someone who maybe reflected our team's values or did something within the week. The guy that we chose this week is someone, honestly, every single week he's been in our program. Is a guy that you could have chosen. It's almost like voter fatigue. You're like, yeah, we could pick him, but everyone knows he works hard. We chose Mitch Smarzinski, one of our seniors. Any role that we've ever asked Mitch to fill, he's done just an amazing job. He's an incredible teammate, incredible worker, just an awesome dude. And so, yeah, he was our Warrior of the Week.
Before the game, there was a pregame social, as it were, at a nearby hotel, where, as you referenced, it was homecoming. So there were dozens and dozens of alumni as far back as the first Wisconsin Lutheran football team back in 1999, before they were even playing games. And I know you had a chance to pop over there before you got back to Robbie Stadium and start doing your coaching thing. Can you just talk about what that environment was like in there,
man.
and seeing faces and names and all that kind of good stuff?
I wish I
seen for a long time.
wish I had more time to talk to those guys. There were so many, familiar faces, people that, I was blessed. I got here the very first year that Robbie Stadium had opened. I think I caught the first kick return there. Like, really cool moments. But I got to know, being the time that I came in, I got to know the guys that came in from the scratch when it was just an idea. And so for them to see where our football program, where our athletic department, where our school has grown into, and to know all the work and all the things that they had done to help kind of lay the groundwork, the foundation for that, it was really special. I had a chance to speak with them. There's so many things I wish I could have said, but just very appreciative and thankful for all those guys that were in that room. And it's such a blessing, man. And the last thing I'll say is, like, there's multiple guys in that room that, I came into Wisconsin Lutheran College. I didn't know Jesus as my Lord and Savior. That was never a part of my life. And it was through those relationships and guys that they helped open my eyes to the gospel, man. So I'm forever and eternally thankful for all those guys.
A couple of memories, and not having been able to make it over there, obviously. The two images, if you don't mind me sharing, that I'll remember most from Saturday. First of all, that fireworks show. Like, I don't know who was behind that, and if it was alumni relations or somebody here at the high, maybe it was you, Coach, I don't know, but well done on those fireworks. Yeah. That was a heck of a show.
Right.
I mean, if people thought it was going to be a couple of sparklers and a little something or other, right, like, that was a fireworks show.
Yep.
And that was awesome. And number two, national anthem. I'm up there in the press box, and I look down, and standing there, because Dennis Miller and Ben Murphy, former coach, assistant coach, player Ben Murphy, came in from Texas. But it was Coach Miller, and standing by him, I think it was then Ben Murphy, and then it was you, and it was Mike Fossum. And I looked down there, and it was not only all three head coaches in Warriors history, but to think all of you played, but you were all on the staff together at one point as well. I thought that was a really awesome mental image, a mental picture that I saw, and I bet it was for you down there too.
It was special, man. Yeah, that was 10 years ago. The conference championship team, we were all together, and we've all I had a chance to play with Ben, play for Coach Miller, Coach Foss. Yeah, special moment. Yeah.
Okay. Let's turn the page now. Warriors on the road for their second conference matchup at Lakeland. Another night game, 6 o'clock, up in Plymouth or Sheboygan or Howard's Grove, or however you like to reference where Lakeland is located. They're 1-1. They're 1-0. I mean, they've given up 65 points and 61 points in their two games, and they've won one of them. It was a wild one last week against Concordia Chicago. Initial takeaways, or I should say initial impressions, rather, of the Muskies, a program you know well and a head coach you know well.
Yeah, very, very well. Their offense is explosive. I've thought Robbie Michael, for the last 2 years now, has been one of the most dynamic players in our league. You have to have a game plan that tries to contain him and what he can do. And they built a good supporting cast. They built a scheme that plays into his strengths. So this will be a really good test. We've talked so much about our defense and how proud I am and how they've played so well. This will be a great test, right? Mm-hmm. Now against a team that maybe is a little bit more explosive, has some more playmakers. Can we do what we've done the last few weeks? I'm confident the guys are working hard and looking forward to seeing that. And then, defensively, they played a really tough Platteville team. I think it's just more physical up front, and it showed. Last week was a little surprising. I think Concordia Chicago has definitely improved. It seemed like the conditions, the weather, it looked like both teams got worn down. I think there was 50 points scored in the fourth quarter. So there was some of the effects of that. To me, this is a week where we got to be on our A game. We've never won a game at Taylor Memorial, and we want to make sure that this team is ready to do that for the first time. And the guys are working hard all week to make it happen.
As we said, it'll be under the lights, 6 o'clock, and you can watch the broadcast at WLCSports.com. All right, Coach, before we let you go, in the time-honored tradition of our conversations, I have 5 questions for you. Number 1, do you speak any foreign languages?
Not really. I know a little bit of Spanish, but not enough to be dangerous. So
can you give us something in Spanish?
¿Cómo estás?
Even I know what that means.
Even you know what that means.
Number 2, what one breakfast cereal would you eat at every meal for a week if you were forced to?
Ooh, Probably, I've been feeling some Reese's Puffs lately. I know it's not the healthy option, but my son likes Reese's Puffs, and I'll be honest, I dive into the box a few times.
Number 3, if animals could talk, what do you think would be the rudest animal?
The rudest animal? I'm gonna go hippo. Hippo. They look like they're friendly, but they are mean. They are mean. I think there's actually more deaths by hippo than by shark. So look it up. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought I saw that somewhere.
We'll fact check it.
Yeah, fact check it.
Would you rather own a condo downtown or a house in the country?
Ooh. If the house is on a lake, I'll take the house on a lake. But if it's otherwise, I don't know. I like being around people.
What if it's a condo on Lake Michigan or a house on the lake in the country?
Ooh, both lakes. I'm gonna go house on a lake in the country because then you can boat, you can enjoy it.
All right. How long do you think you could stay atop a rodeo bull?
When I was more fit, it was a better odds. I would say like 8 seconds or something like that.
8 seconds?
Yeah, I think so.
That would be like...
Would that be pretty solid?
That would be... You're taking home some cash money, prize money in 8 seconds.
There
Impressive.
we go.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know.
Your bonus question, I think like 3.5,
3?
4 is like average.
Is that average?
I think so.
I retract my statement. Let's go
8.
2 seconds.
No. You said 8. You're down for 8.
I was thinking mechanical bull, like trying to make correlation.
Yeah, that's true. No, this is like the real thing.
This is a real deal.
25th anniversary, your bonus question tied to the 25th anniversary of Warriors football. Let's just go back to Saturday. What former Warrior, teammate, player, whatever, were you most surprised to see? Like you talk about that connection, that relationship, because there were some surprised. I can't believe you're here. I'm so glad you made the trek from wherever in the country. Was there anybody there who like you were most pleased, surprised, happy to see maybe just again?
Man, there were so many in the room. I didn't even get to, it was like a blur. I was in and out to get to the game. I would say, I don't know if this was a total surprise because every once in a while he pops around, but I was really excited to see. I saw Pete Hom there. And Pete is real special to me. He was my big brother. We do a big brother, little brother. When I first came here as a freshman, we had a lot of great moments in the program, but he was also really instrumental into me becoming a college coach. My first college coaching job was a GA at Lakeland, and Pete was the offensive line coach there at the time, and he really put in a good word for me and gave me my foot in the door. So we had some great moments coaching together as well. So yeah, it was special to see him for sure.
Came up from what, the Miami area?
Pete?
Or is that one of the other Homs?
Different Homs. Lots of Homs. We love all of them.
I get Phil
I
Hom,
did see
Pete
Phil
Hom,
too.
Dave Hom, Nate Hom. You know you want to do something? Go Google the Homs. Like go in the Warriors record book and just look, do find on this page and find all the Homs.
You will find many. They were very, very good at football. Although Phil, you held me a lot in one-on-ones, but they never caught you in games, so it was good.
All right.
He was impressive. He was a great player, great tackler.
All right, that'll do it. Warriors in Lakeland, 6 o'clock Saturday at Taylor Field. And Coach, best of skill.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.